This is the news at 6 on NBC 6 HD.
After the fierce fights,
do not talk to me like a dog.
I do not.
Do not get in the habit.
Mr. Chair, I have the floor. Mr. Chair, I have the floor.
The applause begins.
A new era in a school system few are willing or able to take on.
That I accept their selection for superintendent of Miami-Dade County Public Schools.
Tonight, a changing of the chief as Miami-Dade's new superintendent steps in.
Dr. Alberto Carvalho says he is ready to bring unity to the Miami-Dade School Board.
All this as the former superintendent, Dr. Rudy Crew, wraps up his last day on the job.
Steve Litz is live in downtown Miami with the details on today's announcement and our top story. Steve.
Tony, the contract between Miami-Dade Schools and Alberto Carvalho hasn't been signed yet, so we don't know details relative to salary or how long he'll serve for. Possibly more information on that at the beginning of next week. By law, Tony, this school district must have a superintendent in place, and today a veteran educator accepted the job. Alberto Carvalho walked into his new job with an air of confidence and authority, and also a standing ovation.
I am ready to accept the challenges, the job, the demand, the criticism.
Several hundred people packed the school board chambers to hear the veteran educator speak. Teachers, support staff, and children, he says, will be his priority. Carvalho spoke forcefully of being a uniter. As far as the applause,
we want to hear a resounding echo of the applause in the community, not for Alberto Carvalho, but for the value of what a teacher does in a classroom every day on behalf of a child. Applaud for that. Force others in the community to applaud for that.
At the same time Carvalho accepts the top job with the school district, he's fending off allegations of an inappropriate relationship with former Miami Herald education reporter Tanya de Luzuriaga. He's also denying reports that he coached one school board member on how to deal with former superintendent Rudy Crew.
Suffice it to say, number one, that I have asked for an investigation into those matters.
While this scene played out for the new superintendent, the former chief, Rudy Crew, wrapped up his last day on the job.
I mean, obviously something like this comes with sort of a mixed set of feelings, but I feel very good. I feel like we did a very, very good job here.
I don't want to dwell on the criticism of the past. I want to build on the hope for the future. And any time wasted doing the former is time consumed from building to the future.
You heard Carvalho talk about the investigation into those allegations. When he stepped away from the podium, he talked about that investigation in more detail. We're going to have that for you coming up at 7 o'clock tonight. And parents who were at today's meeting, pretty pleased with today's appointment. More on that at 7 tonight as well. We're live in Miami tonight. I'm Steve Litz, NBC 6.
All right, Steve, thank you. Another huge story tonight affecting people in the Gulf Coast.
Forecasters warn certain death as a sprawling and strengthening Hurricane Ike steams through the Gulf of Mexico. One of the largest storm systems in recent memory, Hurricane Ike is expected to make landfall near Galveston, Texas.
Let's head over to Jeff Burnside, who's live in satellite control with the latest images out of Texas. Jeff.
Well, Tony, Ike is still fresh in the minds of South Floridians, but it's now just hours away from Texas. Its outer bands already causing flooding, encouraging evacuation, and inspiring grave concern. An estimated 1 million people will be evacuating, according to emergency managers. The Coast Guard rescued several people today aboard one boat, but could not rescue the 22 people aboard a crippled freighter drifting in Ike's path. Houston Mayor Bill White, who will invoke a curfew shortly, is publicly declaring it is going to be a disaster.
It's going to be a scary 36 hours. Unless you're one of these people that are crazy that you see on TV, that they start driving tornadoes and hurricanes, and you like big, heavy winds and rains, unless you're one of those strange people, this is going to be a very unusual circumstance for our community.
Well, even before Ike makes landfall, there is concern over oil platforms sitting in Ike's pathway, and refineries onshore are already shutting down. That creates the misperception of gasoline shortages, which drives up demand and prices. Governors are warning against a crackdown on price gouging, but clearly tonight, human life is the focus in the next 6 to 12 hours. In satellite control, Jeff Burnside, NBC 6.
All right, Jeff, thank you. Time now for our first look at the weather.
Chief Meteorologist Paul Diano joined us with the very latest. Paul?
And Ike is a powerful storm, but not only powerful near the center. Those hurricane force winds go out about 200 miles in diameter. Anybody who did not leave Galveston literally is risking their lives. And the last we heard, about 40% of the residents there did not leave. So that leaves about 25,000 people on an island that will literally be underwater later tonight. Here's the latest on Ike. Winds 105 miles per hour, but we're not focusing on the maximum sustained winds. Take a look at this graphic that I've built for you. It is the wind field. Tropical storm force wind field is 400 miles in diameter. The hurricane wind field is 200 miles in diameter. That's why it's such a storm surge issue, because literally half of the Gulf of Mexico, that water will be piling up in Louisiana and Texas. Landfall near Galveston within about 5 or 6 hours is a Category 2 or Category 3. Houston expecting hurricane force winds right in the heart of that city, fourth largest city in America, moving up through Texas and Oklahoma after that. Obviously, hurricane warnings are up for the Texas and Louisiana coastline. One more graphic I'd like to show you before we talk about the web, which will be the amount of wind in Houston. Could be up to 90 miles per hour. And Galveston Island tonight, because of that storm surge, it will temporarily disappear off the map. The Gulf will overtake the entire island with landfall tonight. If you want to track Ike and track the latest on your forecast, including live Doppler radar, NBC6.net, your one source for weather information. 6 Day coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Paul, thanks. Well, you know, the South Florida community reaching out to victims of the severe storms this season. Today on Power 96, they held a drive